All right, so if the news of Dylan Raiola decommitting from Ohio State wasn't big enough for us today, there's even bigger news. And the news is On3 has now a 53.5 percentage of Dante Moore flipping from the University of Oregon to UCLA after Dante Moore's recent official visit to UCLA on December 9th. Now, we got to talk about this and the impact that this is going to have on the recruiting trail. But before we do that, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking. The simple question today is, will Dante Moore flip from Oregon and go to either a lot of the places that we've heard, Michigan State, UCLA, Texas A&M? Where will he end up playing his college career? So, Dante Moore, one of the top quarterback prospects in 2023, was offered a college scholarship before he even played a snap of varsity high school football. And Moore was offered before he started as an eighth grader by Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. And I think a lot of people were expecting maybe Dante Moore to end up at Michigan. But it looked like maybe when Josh Gaddis had stepped away and went to somewhere else to take a role, it seemed like, that recruitment kind of fell out on the wayside for Michigan. And then Kenny Dillingham and Dan Lanning out of Oregon swooped in and were able to get him to commit to Oregon on April 29th of 2022. And it seemed like on all spectrums of the scale, Oregon found their quarterback of the future. But since then, Moore has spent a lot of time going places like UCLA and Texas A&M and even Michigan State. And there has been some real questions on, especially now that Kenny Dillingham has left Oregon to go to Arizona State, will Dante Moore's commitment stick with the Ducks? And I think this is a very important question that we need to ask, because the Ducks right now are trying to figure out what is going to happen with their quarterback position currently and for the future. So they brought in Bo Nix, and Bo Nix had probably one of the best seasons I think that we've seen from Bo Nix in his college football career. And there's questions, I think, to whether he's going to end up coming back. And they have the four-star quarterback, top 40 player in the country from the 2021 class, Ty Thompson, sitting in that room. But I think there's a lot of belief that maybe, even though he has the bulkier frame, he's balanced with the throws, and he has the elite arm strength, that maybe he is not the guy for Oregon to lead them in the future. Now, I think he's still a very good selection. If they have him, they get the right pieces around Ty Thompson, he could be your quarterback. But it doesn't seem like Oregon is sold on that. So they go out there and they get Dante Moore. And now you're in question again about who your quarterback in 2023 is going to be. And you can certainly look at maybe the transfer portal and look at all the options that are out there, whether it's Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina or Devin Leary from NC State, or personally what I think would be the best fit in the transfer portal quarterback from Clemson for Oregon, and that is going to be DJ Uiagalelei. And that is because you are recruiting his brother, the five-star edge rusher, Mateo Uiagalelei. And so it makes sense. You could potentially have DJ for 2 years. You have him for 1 year, but you could have him for 2 years. And during that time, you could work on finding your quarterback of the future, because you should be able to get one during that time period. But with the recent news of On3 putting it out that they believe it looks like Dante Moore is going to flip to UCLA, this is huge for the Bruins. And here's why this is significant. Because Chip Kelly, he's been pretty good. He's had, I would say, a pretty good career at UCLA, especially right now with the team that he has. But they need to get something a little bit more solidified. And currently sitting at number 46 in the overall rankings, they don't have a quarterback in this class for the 2023. And if I remember correctly, and sorry guys, I'm having to look this up on the fly, I don't think he took one in 2022. And I'm probably going to eat those words. I am. He did. He took Justin Martin, the 4-star top 300 quarterback in 2022. But again, you try to go out there and get the top tier talent and let them duke it out in that quarterback room. And honestly, at a place like UCLA, Dante Moore could probably come in and start right away. And the only question that I have for UCLA is they just got the former Kent State quarterback, Colin Skeely, who Pete Thamel tweeted out is expected to commit to UCLA. And if that's the case, you have to wonder if they're just basically trying to take all options at this point to build up a quarterback room and to build up something elite. But for UCLA to be able to go out there and get a guy like Dante Moore would be incredible for their program and a step in the right direction in terms of recruiting. Additionally, they've had DJ Uiagalelei on campus for a visit. That was a very quiet visit, but they've had him on campus. So they could also be looking to go that direction as well. And I think that's probably the direction that Oregon fans, even though they might lose out on Mateo at that point, want UCLA to go. They want them to take. And UCLA fans, please jump, or Oregon fans, please jump in the comments. But I feel like you'd rather have UCLA take DJ Uiagalelei and get Mateo than rather lose Dante Moore and get DJ and Mateo. But I might be wrong on that one. So pretty significant here. Dante Moore, he's elite, guys. I don't think I need to really try to overstate this, but he is an elite quarterback. And one of the things that I think is great about Dante Moore and makes him one of the top tier quarterbacks that he is in this class is he's an extremely mature quarterback. He doesn't get rattled. He's played in a lot of clutch situations since his freshman season. He has a good touch to get the ball down the field. The difference is between what we see from Nico Uiagalelei versus Dante Moore is Nico has a super high upside, but he's not as mature. Dante Moore is really mature. Not a lot of upside. You're close to the ceiling at this point with Dante Moore. So what you see is what you get. Now, I could be completely wrong, and we could all be completely wrong. But that's how it feels. But again, to get a quarterback like Dante Moore, who in his senior season had 252 pass attempts, had 175 of those completed, threw for 2,300 pass yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. Now, mind you, in 2021, he had a better season with 177 completions, 3,000 pass yards, 40 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So, listen, and the man in his career throws for 9,800 yards, 135 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, and 623 completions. This is a guy that you want on your team. This is a guy that anybody be willing to take. UCLA and the West Coast, they got money, and UCLA knows they have to get a quarterback, and they have to get this team together before they go to the Big Ten. So, everybody, go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Dante Moore potentially decommitting from Oregon and going to UCLA.